To a special, different, and quite intimate episode of Me, Myself, and I present to you me, myself, and yes, I. This is a special Q&A episode for you guys to get to know me, your host, Joey, much better because you've gotten to know a lot of the amazing guests I've had to the show. Well, hopefully you're streaming them, hopefully you're supporting them, hopefully you're subscribed to them, all that. And now I was like, why not have you guys get to know me more? So I asked my listeners, my friends, my followers questions on Instagram, or I asked you guys to ask me questions, and we're going to go through them all. There's a lot of questions pertaining to dating, music, sugar daddies, all of it. So without further ado, let's start with the first question, which I think is an amazing place to start. And I'm not going to say who these questions are from, by the way. These remain completely anonymous. And the first very educational question is, how thick is it? When I hear that question, I'm assuming you mean my ass, and I'm going to say it's very thick, actually. On a scale from 1 to 10, I'm going to say in these jeans that I just freshly washed that are rather tight at the moment, I'm going to say a 9.5. But on a good day, 10. And then the second question is, rank your favorite tracks on Renaissance. I'm going to give you my top 3 at the moment. Heated is my number 1. That hasn't changed, and I don't think it will ever change. My second favorite is America Has a Problem. And then my third, you know what? No, scratch that. Heated first, Church Girl second, America Has a Problem third. Do you have any favorites?
So many.
So many?
Virgo's Groove.
Virgo's Groove, excellent, yeah.
Heated. Cozy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a phenomenal album.
It's so good. Even my engineer Wolf loves it. Cozy is so good.
It's so good, man.
Cozy's
Virgo's Groove. Plastic on the, what is it?
Plastic Off the Sofa.
Come on, man.
That's like right outside my top 3. That's like top 4.
Come on, man. Shout out to
so
Bae.
Good.
The Queen.
The Queen. We need to see her live. I'm like, how am I gonna fucking afford these tickets to this show? I'm like, what body part do I not need that I could give away? Like, I've been like really thinking about that every morning. I'm just like, my right foot is okay. It's rather flat. It could go.
You don't need it? You could do without it?
Yeah, I'll just be wheeled off to the show or carried, especially if I have a man by that time. Hopefully you could do all that work. So off to our next question, which is another music question. It's, get rid of one Little Mix album and one Mariah album. Which one would they be? First of all, how dare you ask me such an offensive question like that? Because those are 2 of my favorite artists ever. There's like no Little Mix fans here in the US. They're all in the UK, which I really envy them because they're excellent. But if I had to get rid of one Little Mix album, that is such an offensive question. At first, I feel like most fans would pick DNA because that's like their debut, everything. A lot of people forget about artists' debut albums to begin with, unless if it's like an extremely prophetic and noteworthy debut album, which I think DNA is, but you know what I mean. But I don't know, that's such an offensive question. And then to think of a Mariah album that I'm going to have to get rid of is extremely offensive. But I'm going to answer them nonetheless. A Little Mix album that I would have to get rid of. I would say, it kills me to say it, but I'm going to say Confetti. Even though Confetti has some of my favorite Little Mix songs on there, like Sweet Melody is literally their greatest song ever. And one of my most streamed songs of all time. But I'm just going to say Confetti for that matter. Because all the other ones, like, I've spent so much time with them already. Like, they're so close to my heart, which Confetti is too. But the others are so close to my heart, especially LM5. Like, I simply can't discard them like that. So I'm going to say Confetti. And then a Mariah album I would have to get rid of is so rude to think of. A Mariah album that I would have to get rid of. I would say, I could give you like a sneak answer, which would be like Merry Christmas to You, her second Christmas project, which would be my answer. But if we had to choose like a Mariah Carey studio album to get rid of, I hope she never sees this. It would be. I hate this question so much. This is so hard. I'm going to say. I'm just going to say Merry Christmas to You. This is way, way too hard. All of them are perfect. I'm still trying to think of an option because I don't want to cheat you from an answer. But we'll come back to that one but for the most part, it's going to be Merry Christmas to You. Don't ever ask me a question like that. That is so rude. You could ask me about anything in my private life. Ask me about my fucking hole for that matter. I'd rather answer shit about that instead of choosing to discard an album from my favorite artist of all time. No. Okay. So this question is rather deep. Let me hydrate. So this question is, if 12-year-old Joey showed up in New York tomorrow, what about your life would you be most excited about? I'm like, what the fuck was I even doing at 12? Okay, so 12 years old. I'm 25 now. 12 years old, that's what? 13 years ago? I'm so bad at math.
Yeah, horrible. I'm not the guy to ask.
I'm not either. I'm so bad at mental math. I still use like my fingers and everything when I count. So 13 years ago, 12 years old. That's what, like 5th grade? No. Middle school, something. I was a child. Okay, so child, 12-year-old Joey shows up in New York tomorrow. What about your life would he be most excited about? Honestly, I think, and this answer didn't just pop up in my head till now, it would be I would want to go to them TV studios or at least stand outside of it and have like my TRL nostalgia moment of like how the fans used to sit outside and greet the celebrities. I would come to the window and say hi to everybody. It would definitely be that, because I think one trip to New York my family and I made for like the day way back when, that's the only thing I wanted to do. And so 12-year-old Joey would definitely want to be doing that same thing. So that was a really good question. All right. And so the next question is very simple: sun, moon, rising. You're talking about zodiac signs. So my sun is, I'm a Taurus, born April 26th. My moon is in Sagittarius, and my rising is in Sagittarius as well. And I think me having those two placements in Sagittarius for my moon and my rising, I feel like I resonate a lot with my fellow Sagittarius queens. Some of them are here on this board, like Brittany, Nikki. Like there's certain things about the Sagittarius spirit that I resonate with, which like they're always in pursuit or desire of like freedom. They never like to be tamed or settled or told what to do. And I resonate with that a lot. Not to mention I'm a Taurus, which like our literal animal representation of us is the bull. So like we're pretty much just like eating grass all day, not giving a fuck until you wave the little like red flag at us, and then we're pissed off. So I guess that's a very good depiction of me. And then top 5 albums. That's very fucking hard considering I have like a top 10 list that is just always going on in my head of like all time, and a lot of albums in that are ever changing. So if I had to pick the top 5 though, like top 5 that are never leaving that list, it would be top 5. It would definitely be, honestly, and like we just talked about Renaissance too. Like Renaissance is like my first or second favorite album of all time. And I don't care. I mean all time. So that's definitely on there. So that's one album. Butterfly by Mariah is definitely in there. In the Zone, Britney. I'm going to say that's my favorite album of all time, and Renaissance is right under it. So In the Zone, Renaissance, Butterfly, Corinne Bailey Rae's self-titled debut.
Oh, man.
You love Corinne Bailey Rae?
Yep.
No way.
Yep.
Stop. That just made me so happy.
Yep.
I did not know that.
Yep.
See, I fucks with you even more.
Hey, I love Kareem.
Really?
Sure.
I
For sure.
Love her. Have you ever seen her live?
Nah.
The best concert I've ever been to.
Yeah,
I promise.
she's one of them special talents. There's a lot of new talent for sure. Shout out to everybody doing their thing. But I don't know. Maybe it was less people back then, and so it was easier to like concentrate on somebody. But
Yeah.
man, what she contributed to like music at that time. It was just so good.
And she came in that like random singer-songwriter era.
Yes.
In like 2007 to 9, where there's like
Yes.
a bunch of those girls that would have like one hit on the radio.
Right.
Yet they wrote for everyone else.
Right.
And then you never hear of them again on that scale.
She had a different look. She had a different vibe.
She's so good.
Man.
She's so good, and her albums too are each so different. She has how many albums? 4? 3.
Yeah.
3 albums. She has the self-titled,
Mm-hmm.
The Sea,
Mm-hmm.
and then The Heart Speaks and Whispers. Each one of them are so good. The self-titled though is like undefeated. There's been days lately, especially sad days, where like her second album, The Sea, which is literally about her husband passing,
Exactly.
kind of becomes my favorite
Mm-hmm.
because it's so sad. It's so poetic.
Mm-hmm.
And even if I can't relate to that story specifically, even if I'm having a sad day, I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, I want to hear you
Yeah.
talk about you missing your husband. And
Yeah.
somehow that comforts
Because
me.
you just feel it.
Mm-hmm.
It's real.
Mm-hmm. And then The Heart Speaks and Whispers being like her liberation album. She talks about like finding new love on that. She's just brilliant.
Yeah.
She's like my dream guest to have on the show. And when she is here, you will be here as well.
Oh, what?
You will be here as well. My vinyl will be present
What?
because I definitely got that for its anniversary.
Yeah. That's what's up.
I did not know you love her.
I grew up listening to her.
Really?
Mhm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. What's your favorite song or album?
Man, it's so many. I'ma just tell you. And this might sound typical, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna say off top like a star. I'm gonna just
Genius.
say that.
Genius choice.
But there's so many more. I can't think of right now because it's actually been quite some. That's kind of like you bringing her up helps me remember that I forgot about her.
Yeah.
But not in a bad way. It's just so much music though. You know,
So
sometimes
much.
you don't remember something till you stumble across it again. And this is me stumbling across it again and being like, that's it. If I listen to her right now, my memory is gonna take me back to the house I lived in. It's gonna take me back to what it was like being. I think I was in junior high school at that time. It was an interesting time for sure.
Yeah. Which is funny because she has a song about having that type of memory exactly. It's called Butterfly. It's on that first album. You know Butterfly too?
Ooh, come on.
Oh,
Come on.
wow. Like I knew you had taste, but the taste today has just,
Yeah, for sure.
wow.
Nah, she one of them
astonishing.
ones.
She's excellent. I'm going to agree with you too. And I'm going to say Like a Star is my favorite song from her too. Just because like,
Mm-hmm.
if nobody knows who she is and they're like, who's Corinne Bailey Ray? I need one song to get into her and understand what she's about. That's going to be the song.
And you can't say that for
So good.
everybody.
No.
Because everybody got hits, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't want to refer somebody to the hit. Sometimes you don't want to do that. It's like, nah, but there's some B-sides to the album. There's these other ones.
Yeah.
She does have those other ones, but for some reason you just feel so comfortable being like, listen to Like a Star.
Because it's that great. Like it's such an excellent piece of art and music where like you don't even mind the stigma of like, oh, it was a single. It's been, commercially released. Like, okay, as it should be. It's an excellent song.
Yeah.
Whereas, like what you said, like you refer a popular song to your friend and you're like, oh, I want to be
Yeah.
avant-garde and,
Yeah.
ambiguous.
I want to
and
be a
give
real
you-
fan.
Yeah,
Give
exactly.
you a real track. But it's like, that's a real track.
It's so good. And for that to be about her, widowed husband, like,
Mm-hmm.
or her late husband
Mm-hmm.
is crazy. Like it's about how she loves him. She loves him so much that she loves when they fight. Like
Yeah.
it's such an excellent song. And seeing that live, I saw her live last June.
You know what, Joey? I can't listen to her right now. It's raining outside. You
Oh,
gonna have me in my
I
feelings.
know. Stay in that first album where things were nice, light, and airy in the beginning. Don't listen to the sea
Yeah.
on a
for
cloudy
sure.
ass day like this. Oh my God.
Yeah, you gonna have me in my feelings, man. I'm going to California tomorrow. I need to hold off.
Listen to her happy songs because there's some in there like Call Me When You Get This.
Yeah.
Call Me When You Get This. Trouble Sleeping is good.
Man.
I love her. Wow, the fact that you love her just made me so happy. You have no idea.
And she was just so beautiful.
Gorgeous and like such a beautiful aura about her too.
Mhm.
Like when I saw her live, like it wasn't even just like a show. It wasn't just like an experience. Like it was just a live outer body live music experience. And just like the moment she stepped on stage, you know, it was at, I think like Bowery Ballroom or something like that. So it's
Mhm.
a very simple, understated stage.
Mhm.
And she still steps on before she even sings. Everybody's already
Yeah.
captivated already.
Yeah.
Like she's just that brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm sending this whole video to her somehow
Nah, please do.
as like a plea to please come here on the show. She'll
Send
be,
this to her. She gonna see it.
she will.
She gonna see it.
Corinne, you're gonna see this. And if you don't mind, you're gonna sign my vinyl too. Because I got it. So, wow, that made me so happy. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
So, Corinne is on there. And then the last one of my top 5, this is hard. I'm gonna say, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna say Return to Saturn, No Doubt, is one of my favorite albums ever. And that's definitely in there. Simple Kind of Life being one of my favorite songs of all time. So I'm gonna choose that. Also, going back to Corinne, one of my really, 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 really good friends that I just met a few weeks ago asked me to make a playlist of my life. And Simple Kind of Life by No Doubt is on there. And Like a Star by Corinne is on there. So that's a little fun thing that reminded me of. And then the next question is your favorite local drag queen. No Drag Race or Dragula Girls. I'm going to give you 3 different options because I experienced drag in 3 different states because I used to do drag. So in Miami, where I started drag, I'm going to say Tiffany Fantasia. And then in DC, I'm going to say Rose Evergreen. And I'm going to give you another one, Drew Sidora. And then in New York, there's so many options. There's so many, and I love everybody. But I'm going to say our Entertainer of the Year, Devdo, is currently my favorite in New York. That was a nice question. So the next one is your top 3 artists of 2022. Top 3 artists of 2022. So I assume this can mean old artists, new artists, just the top people you listened to this year. I'm going to say Charlie XCX whooped my ass this year. She was my number 1 everything on Spotify Wrapped. I'm also going to say Flo, the new girl group based out of the UK, who you may or may not be seeing on here very soon. And my third, I'm going to say Beyonce too, because Renaissance came and wrecked me in the best way possible. And then the next question is, who are your top 3 artists of 2022, actually?
Top 3 artists, 2022. It's going to have to be Larry June, for sure. Larry June is an artist from San Francisco, and he's very dope. He's just very, very awesome. Man, top 3. You know, this is kind of like one of them questions. It's like, what do you want to eat? It's like, damn, why don't I know this? This is my life. How do I not know?
That's my least favorite question ever. Anything.
It's definitely gonna be Larry June. Okay, you know what? I'll give you another one. I'm really rocking with Ari Lennox right now.
She's so good.
Like her last album to
H-Sex
me,
Location.
extremely well
So
put
good.
together, man. Extremely from the intro, just you really get me with albums in the first 5 tracks. If the
Yep.
first 5 tracks can be like consistent, like it's like, ooh, another one, another one, another one, another one. You know, it's like it's a good album. And it doesn't happen a lot. Sometimes it's
I
like
agree.
what you like of an album, if it's 12 tracks, it's scattered through the album.
Yeah.
And you know, it is what it is. So Larry June, Ari Lennox, and then I really, really like the Her Loss project right now.
It's so good.
I'm really rocking with the Her Loss project right now.
It's great.
Yeah, so even though they dropped that at the end of 2022, I'm going to just give it up. I'm going to throw it in there.
That's like my getting ready for work album, my gym album.
It's good.
All of that.
It's just good.
It's a good album. I've always loved 21 Savage too, so when I heard that they were coming together, I was like, okay, this is going to be good.
It was magic.
Regardless.
It was magic.
I agree. I won't say anything about that line. I'm not a fan of that, But the rest of the music, fantastic,
Oh yeah,
lovely.
for sure. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
But the rest, I'll
Yeah.
bop to it and it's amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
But the next question is, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And it's funny because we are kind of talking about this. I feel like we always talk about like our future
Yeah.
whenever we're
The
in the
things that
present
matter for
together.
sure.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. So I like somebody asking this because I feel like I'm always asking other guests this question. So it's cool to look and be like, what am I going to be doing in 5 years? So I'm 25 now, turned 26 on April 26th in 2023, which is like my golden birthday. So when I'm 30, where do I see myself? I see this show being signed to something, whether that be like an Apple Music, a Spotify, an Amazon Music. I wish I could like light incense and candles in a circle and like lay down in the middle of the ground as some like type of manifesto. So hopefully all this comes into fruition. Yeah, so I'll definitely say that. Whether it be this show, an expanded and heightened version of the show. With that being said, too, what I see and what I definitely see myself doing in 5 years with the show, with myself, with my brand, is using it as a way to give other people, especially other queer people of color, opportunities to explore and do what they want and do what they love. So, like, I would love to hire a team for the show. And, if you love working on graphics, okay, let's design some graphics together. Let's get collaborative. Let's get creative. Let's just give you an outlet to enjoy something. So think of it as like the fucking like YMCA, but like for your own resume or for your own life or for your own future, just for your own creativity, because that's really important. And yeah, I'm just glad people are being creative these days. I was literally coming home yesterday from Walgreens and I was in the pouring rain with the dog that I'm watching. And there's this kid like outside this pizza store that was already closed in the pouring rain doing like a TikTok dance, like recording himself. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? And at first I was like, these damn kids. But then I was like, you know what?
You know what?
She better fucking work. Like, here he is in the pouring rain, finding a way to have fun, dancing, just be creative.
What, people running from the rain? They run into it.
Yeah, exactly. And watch, the video is probably going to take off. You're going to see me wet as hell in the background, walking the dog just like...
Secretly hating.
No, and I promise I really wasn't. At first, I was secretly confused, but now I'm publicly enlightened, and I love it. I love it. So, yeah, creativity. I would definitely say those two things. This show signed to something. Corinne Bailey Rae's already going to be on the show. Maybe she'll be on, like, it'll be her third time coming. Hopefully that's the matter. And then, yeah, most importantly, just hopefully being some type of creative outlet for people, as well as some type of charitable outlet for those in need, specifically the trans community of color, and also the autistic community. I really want to give back to them some way, somehow. And then... Jesus, what a fucking shift. So the next question is, so when you actually going to read your DMs, I want to take you out and please you. Well, okay. I've become such a bad texter and like DM reader lately. Like I used to be that girl that would answer everybody, but it's not you, it's me. I actually have my do not disturb on everything, every single contact, every single notification, every single program. I just want to live. I don't want to fucking look at my phone. I'll check the shit if something's going on. Or if something is in an emergency, then my friends that know me well have figured out a way to debunk the do not disturb and will call me and be like, yeah, our dog threw up on your bed. And I'll be like, okay, cool, I'll handle it. Like an emergency like that. But anything else, girl, we'll talk later. So, sure. Where do you want to go? You pick the place. And yeah, let's do it. So when you actually read your DMs, Jesus. Okay. Next question is, when did the Britney obsession start? That's easy. It was honestly like just like how everybody else discovered her when they saw A Baby One More Time premiere on TRL. I saw that and I was like, who is this bitch? I may have been like 2.5, but I was still saying, who is this bitch?
Who is this bitch?
Literally, I was like, who is this lady dancing in a school uniform in the school hallway?
Respectfully.
No, and trust me, like I mean the word bitch in the most loving way possible, because that's really my girl. And she was actually the first CD I ever bought too. I bought Oops, I Did Again, which is her sophomore record, on May 3rd, just only a week after my birthday. For my 3rd birthday, I went to the Kmart right around the corner, and it was the best fucking day of my life.
Kmart.
I'm so mad they discontinued Kmart. Why did they do that?
Wow, this is for the real ones right here.
Right, I love Kmart.
This is for the real. If you don't know about Kmart, hey, I mean, there's nothing gonna happen to you. But if you do, that's a special place in heaven for you.
It makes me so sad that we're talking about Kmart in the past tense. It used to be such a present and consistent thing in my life. Like, this is so sad.
Like, where is it?
They're all gone.
Is it even here? It's nowhere, right?
No, they got rid of the one in Astor Place too, right here in the city.
How does a whole department store disappear? How does it happen?
A lot of tasteless people, because I was clearly there. We were there for their pharmacy. We were there every fucking day. My mom would go get her prescriptions and her refills and be in the line for an hour, and I'd literally be like looking at the CDs. Back in the day, you know, they used to have like the little CD sampling things.
Come on.
They would have like the screen and the little buttons you could press.
Oh,
you could
my
put the cheap
God.
headphones on to listen to the albums. Man.
You like a millennial Gen Z.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I have 2 older brothers too, so
Yeah,
like
cool.
they definitely helped me digest a lot. And I mean, I clearly wasn't playing a lot of sports back then, so I had to do something to stay busy. So that was my way of staying busy. And yeah, I would say TRL and Kmart are responsible for me loving Britney. And every time I pass where the Kmart used to pass, I'm always just like, thank you for everything. So the next question is, how does one curate the best playlist in your opinion? That's a good question.
It's a good question.
Isn't it?
It's a good question.
Do you have an opinion?
How does one create the best playlist?
Mm-hmm.
Off top, the golden rule to me,
Yeah.
no skips.
Okay.
That should be your first intention of creating a playlist, whether it's 10 songs or 35.
Yeah.
No skips.
No skips. Okay.
You want to be like, the energy continues to elevate every song. And even if you get to like 5 songs of energy and then maybe song 6, it's a dip down. You want it to be like cohesive in the mix. Just like an outfit. Like, you might have some shit that's like, okay, that's a left field, but it works though. You know, like I heard somebody say one time, you don't have to match. Everything has to complement though.
I like that.
You know? So whatever you do, you want it to complement.
I like that. Because, I mean, there could be a change of pace in the playlist, but nonetheless, there's still a pace. Whereas when the pace stops, you're just like, okay, I got 9 more songs to go through and the shit's already whack. Do you believe in, and maybe this is just a rule I made up in my head, but do you think there could be multiple songs by the same artist in a playlist?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, just making sure.
That's kudos to the artist.
That's a very good point, because when I was making that 15-track playlist about my life, there are so many songs by like the same artist I wanted to put in, but I was like, let me give each artist their moment. I guess, but yeah, I guess it just depends on.
This is making me think of this time I burnt the CD for this girl. I hope she listened to it. I actually don't know if she listened to it, but I burnt it like 2 CDs, a playlist. Yeah.
A B-side, wow.
And then I took a Sharpie and like wrote a whole bunch of dope shit on the CD. You know what I'm saying?
So
like,
cute.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I got her on the gram too. I might be like, did you ever listen to that? We're friends. We're good friends.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Did you ever? I hope you did. I hope you still got it, because I want it back, low key.
Okay, yeah. I want to hear the answer to this. That's really cute. Yeah, I guess nowadays it's like playlist making. Like, I made this playlist for you.
Yeah.
Here's the link.
That's a very special thing.
It is.
That's very special.
It is.
Don't take that for granted, people. If somebody make you a playlist, keep them around.
Yeah, I made one for somebody recently. We'll see how that goes. Yeah.
That's what's up.
And I even felt it. I was like, okay, this feels different. Even though it's fully public on my Spotify, but I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So my answer to the playlist curation question is, I always start with like theme. What do I want this to be about? And then I go from there. So say it's like, I have like my party playlist. Obviously the theme isn't just like, oh, I want a party, but like, what kind of party are we going to? So I have like my disco playlist, my I want to throw ass playlist. Like, you have to get very specific and just stay with the intention of where the playlist is going. And then I have some playlists that are like stories in a way. I made a bunch over quarantine that would fully like, they'd almost be like mini DJ sets, just not mixed together.
Mm.
And the songs would go together like a story. So the beginning song would literally tell like where I'm at right now. And then the last song would be where I'm at currently.
That's
Almost
not,
like an album.
yeah, that I feel like that's an ultimate playlist though.
Okay.
You know? Like that's like you said, it's like a DJ set without the mixing. Though.
Exactly.
That's like ultimate though.
Yeah.
Because the ultimate playlister is the DJ.
Very good point.
You know?
Mm-hmm. You really do need to let me know what she says.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna let you know.
I will not let you forget about that.
I got you.
And then the next question is favorite Destiny's Child album. This is an easy answer. Destiny's Fulfilled. That was their last album together as a group. And that's like, all their other albums are excellent, by the way. Hello. But Destiny's Fulfilled is just so excellent. I think that's the greatest girl group record ever released. It's just like their work as a fully grown and realized girl group. Like they knew it was their last one for a minute. It's definitely been a long minute, but nonetheless. So they really gave it their all. And my favorite songs from it are If, Free, and T-Shirt. It's a good album. Okay. And then the next question is, what's the criteria to be a guest on the podcast? What kinds of people are you looking for? So for me, if you want my elevator pitch that I send in my emails that a lot of people should be answering, it's we are a safe space platform and conversation for queer creatives and our allies. So that's the very business formal answer. But for me, genuinely, I just want to be able to showcase queer people or queer adjacent people in really cool positions. And I think I've done a really good job at that. Not even me. I think my guests have done a really good job at displaying that variety throughout the continuation of my show so far. So like we've had Sean Garrett, like kid from Maryland, grew up, wanted to be an esthetician, left school to be an esthetician, ended up launching Fenty Skin with Rihanna, and is now the head of Dior Skin. Like, that's crazy. And ultimately, he's still just like that queer kid from Maryland. So it's just showing all the different important seats that these really talented queer people can be in, especially in a lot of these industries that depend on queer people too, yet for some reason rob them the most of everything. So I would say that's who I definitely want on my show. But like I said, we are welcoming allies as well to the community. So feel free. I know Corinne Bailey Ray is an ally, so even more of a reason for her to come on. And yeah, so the next question is, if you could switch lives with anybody for a day, who would you choose? Have you ever thought about this question?
Yeah.
What would your answer be?
This is gonna be really random.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you know who this guy is, but like I've always said to myself, if I wasn't me, I would be Dom Kennedy.
Why?
Why not?
Yeah. Uh-huh. But what's your answer specifically?
You know, when I listen to his music,
Mm-hmm.
he always just came off so effortlessly comfortable. Just so effortlessly comfortable. Kind of like Biggie Smalls. Like Biggie Smalls just seems just so cool. Like when you
Mhm.
think about like the essence of what cool is, right? Like
Yeah.
just cool, comfortable, in charge, living life, very stylistic, very charismatic.
Mhm.
Charisma is an important human quality.
I agree.
It's a very important human quality. It'll get you
Mhm.
far in life. You know what I mean? So when I think about Don Kennedy, he's a rapper from California, from Los Angeles. He got a lot of charisma and he laughs a lot in his records. I love rappers who laugh.
I love that.
You know,
That shit's so funny.
he laughs a lot. He talks about food. He talks about living life in such a great way. So that's if I wasn't me, I'd be Don Kennedy.
That's a good question. That's a good answer too.
Yeah.
I like that. And I like how quick it came to your mind.
Yeah, because it was I really think about it.
Really? Okay. Damn. So do you think with that being often like thought about in your mind, like do you think that helps you kind of make choices in your daily life?
You know, I think we're all here to learn from each other
Mhm.
in a real way, right? So like
Yeah.
you meet people and you like things about you like what you see sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
Like when I think about the type of man that I would like to be, it helps when you see other men that give you good feelings.
sure.
You know what I mean? That give you good inspiration. Or not even just a man, like even like like women, like my mom is like very graceful. She's very in tune with like God, and
Yeah.
her energy is always just really beautiful. And so it's like I admire that. So I try to take as much of that and incorporate that in who I am as
Mm-hmm.
possible.
Yeah.
You know what I
To
mean?
emulate it, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's what we here for. You can't have it
I
all through
agree.
birth. You got some shit and thank God for what you got, but what about the stuff you don't have?
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
We studying books, let's study people.
If anything, I study better off of people, whether they're people I know or whether people I don't know.
Yeah, we got a high people IQ,
Yeah.
you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just better examples. I'm less reading too. um, my answers I have two would be Freddie Mercury
Mm.
because I've been like getting back into my Queen bag lately and like doing research on him, and just the fact that like him too, like he was like a full like queer era person too. I'm like, wow, like granted, you know, his star was rising at a time especially where it was like very hard to be gay or just any part of the LGBTQIA spectrum publicly too. Like it was so hard. So I just want to, I don't know, I don't want to do as Freddie Mercury. I would just really love to be him and maybe, I don't know, see how far we could go in terms of expressing that queerness, especially intersecting it with his Arab background. Him, he was my first choice, and then I'd also say Prince too. Going off to my second choice, I would say Prince as well. But like that feels so like blasphemous to say because no one will ever be him. But if I just wanted a frivolous choice, Prince would be it. Things I find sexy about a guy. That's my next question. My answer to that, and I'm realizing it now, honestly, and like this is what everyone fucking says, I feel, but like you really have to be funny. And not just funny, but like you really have to not just like make me laugh, but like I don't know, you kind of like what you said, like charisma in a way.
Charisma,
Because
exactly.
there's some people too that are funny and what they're saying
Mm-hmm.
on paper is funny, but sometimes the way they deliver isn't really funny. And maybe that just sounds like I'm over analyzing it, like I'm trying to like
I understand.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to cast this person for a comedy special or something.
Exactly.
But it's like,
Exactly.
I don't know. There's some people, what I love, you know what I love? Especially, I don't know if like my zodiac signs or something have to do with this, but like, and maybe it's a toxic thing. I don't know. I love people that I'm instantly like magnetically attached to.
Why would you not? Why would you not?
Very good point.
You know what I'm
Very
saying?
good point. Because like, a lot of people want to get to know each other over time, whereas like,
And that's cool. It's cool. No problem.
yeah, and it is nice. And I definitely have a lot of relationships with people like that, but it'll always be somebody I meet like at a concert or at like a club one night that like I just have like an instant affinity to. And I love those type of people.
Yeah.
So if I could find that in a guy while still being smart and responsible with my feelings, I would love that. Ideally. Because I have had that before with guys that I was interested in, and then I just become the crazy person in the situationship. So
Oh, you become the crazy person?
in those past experiences, yeah, I definitely have been. And I've learned so much from them. I don't think I'm that crazy person anymore. Like, I think I can proudly say that. But also, who knows? Give me a few weeks.
Yeah.
Give me a few weeks. Give me a few more dates. And who knows? I just might be that crazy person.
Hey, the transparency is real.
I just want to be self-aware.
Yeah.
So at least I could learn and hopefully one of these days apply these lessons that I'm learning. So yeah, I would definitely say that. Just some type of charisma. Yeah. And I don't think I have like a physical type, literally. Any guy's hot to me. And then what else? Whoa. Okay. Next question is, hey there, I hope you don't get offended. I'm gay and just bumped into your page and couldn't walk away without letting you know how gorgeous and handsome you are. Heart. I will really appreciate you being my sugar baby. I would like to take care of you and all of your bills. I'll put you on a $500 weekly allowance. Your time and attention will do just fine, baby. Heart. Well, in that case, let's book some more studio time. I just got paid. I'm kidding. 500 a week is cute, but at this point in my life, $657 a week.
657?
Yeah, Like 650, 700, yeah.
Let's just make it 1,000.
I mean, I was just trying to be bashful here, but I will happily welcome $1,000 a week, which honestly, like my dream, you know what? I'm going to share an idea of mine, but I don't care. I've always wanted to raise some type of or create some type of like sugar baby charity association where just like a bunch of gays just hook up with like these fucking old rich white men, take their money and give it to charity. Does that sound so nice? Okay. Isn't that a great idea? I think it is personally. Like, hi, yes, thank you for your time. Thank you for your money. Thanks for dinner. Let me go to a charity of my liking and give this money. And I wouldn't, like, yeah, there's a whole, like, dirty money thing, but I don't think that's dirty money. It's money that should be given to those people anyways.
That is that is one of the most original ideas I have heard. It's so authentic. I don't even know how to feel about
My
it.
2 favorite words, original and authentic. I don't think it's fucked up.
I'm just like, wow.
I would love that. Like, if I went on a date with some, like, fucking old financial broker from Long Island that I, like, didn't really care about, no offense, go to, like, dinner with him, and then, you know, take the little allowance he slips under the table and just drop it off at a charity of my liking. That would be so nice, and that would really fill my heart up. I'm being so serious right now. Like,
I mean, hey,
I would love that. That would be so cool.
I mean, hey, man, help is help, you know?
Exactly.
Help is help.
Exactly. And what matters most are those people in need. They're taken care of. Those people, those sugar daddies, they're taken care of. So we'll be in talks, I guess, to that question. Another one. Hi, Joe. Are you interested in a sugar daddy? No. Like I said, name your price. Next question. What's one thing you'd like to change about yourself? That's a good question. Honestly, I've come to the point, like, not even to be Miss Girl, and like, yeah, I have my insecurities and blah blah blah, but in order to grow and be a thriving and flourishing, yeah, flourishing, 25-year-old adult and just person, child of God existing in this world, I wouldn't change a single fucking thing. I'm good. But if I had to choose, like, a little supplement to my life, it would be a better attention span, which, like, yeah, I guess I could fix with Adderall, but like, I just haven't gotten around to going to the doctor yet for that shit. So I would say that. Do you ever think about that?
If I could change one thing about
Yeah.
myself, I'm definitely I am the biggest fan of me for sure. Like, I really fucks with me for real.
I love that.
Because it took a lot of work. You know, it took work. So it's
Exactly.
like to get here is like I'm fucking with where we're at. But like, if I had to change one thing about myself, it would probably be to have more control of my mind in some kind of way, you know? Because sometimes, you know, you find yourself in moments where you get away from your own self sometimes, you know? It's like sometimes well, I don't want to generalize. I get away from myself sometimes. Sometimes I can have anxious thoughts that I know are bullshit, to be honest. I know it's bullshit. Like, I know it's not valid, but, you know, sometimes it gets the best of you in that moment. So I would like to work on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So more like you want to be able to ground yourself and be more present.
Be more present. Like, it's
Yeah.
it's definitely not realistic to never be bothered, right? You
Right.
know? But I would like to be bothered less by trivial things, though. Like, if I'm gonna be bothered, let it be things that are like worth the attention. You know, it's like, okay, this is a real thing. You
Yeah.
know, but it's like and it's just when you're young, you're getting better with time. Hopefully, you know what I
Yeah.
mean. So this is like something that I need to get better with time, and I have gotten better at it. But you still deal with it, you know. So like, I want to continue to get better at dealing with intrusive thoughts and just sometimes there's really no reason to be anxious. More oftentimes than not, there's like not a
Yep.
reason. It's not a reason at all. You know, it's just like everything's good. It's better than good, actually, if you step the fuck back and really look at the picture. So that's
That's
part.
what it is. That, and I think what could possibly help that, because I go through the same thing too, would be like, I just think about, like, in a week from now, am I gonna care?
Facts.
Am I going to care? And I was first going to say, like, in 5 months from now, am I going to care? No, fuck that. A week. Maybe even a day. Tomorrow, am I going to care about this? No. And immediately, like, when I ask myself that lately, I've seen myself, like, slow down. I feel my shoulders relax, my neck not as tense.
That part.
And I'm instantly like, oh.
That part.
Even when I want to, like, pop off on something, I'm like, I'm about to let this person have it and everything. And I'm like, am I going to feel good about it after? Am I going to feel good about it tomorrow when I wake up and it's a nice morning and the only thing nasty about this day is my spirit? Fuck no.
Man.
You know what I mean?
Is it worth the time?
Is it worth it? Most of the time, it's no, because there's also so many other things we could be using our time for.
Yeah.
So.
Straight up.
I would say that. And then, these are more deep questions. Hello. The next question is, what was the best phase in your life and what was the worst phase in your life? That's a good fucking question. And I always think of, like, my life and shit in, like, eras. So I always, like, think of, like, my middle school era, my this era, my 2020 era, my 2021 era, all that. So the answer to that question, honestly, I would say we're going to start with the worst phase. Honestly, you know what? I'm going to say, ultimately, at a certain point in this year, maybe in the past 6 months, have both been the best and worst phases of my life at the same time. So, like, second half of 2022.
I agree with that.
You feel? Like, 2022 already, like, it had high hopes and expectations. And then certain things happened that just immediately steered it other way. And I was like, oh, it's going to be hard to ride with. But nonetheless, we tried, we prospered. And, you know, it's okay. We failed a bit. And that's fucking fine. It happens. It's okay for life to humble you as long as you get back up. But yeah, I would say, like, that second half of 2022, like, got very bad. And it was definitely the worst phase of my life. But with that being said, it had to become the worst phase of my life for it to turn around and for me to realize, like, oh no, I have to make this the best phase of my life. And I'm in that process right now, currently. So I'll definitely say that. Next question. Are we good on time still?
Yeah, we good. I would say maybe 20 more minutes at the most.
Perfect. Okay, cool. And then the next question is, are you the person you thought you'd be when you were little? That's a good question, isn't it?
That's good.
That's a good question. And I've been thinking about a lot of that stuff lately. I would say I'm returning to him now.
Returning?
Yeah, returning, I think so. I would say returning. I don't even know if I could explain why. I think it's just something you know deep down inside. Like, yeah, there's, like, you know, the, like, typical responses of, like, you know, reparenting yourself, all that, which, like, yes, I guess I'm, like, just starting to dive into now. But I think just by me making choices for myself based on what I want and not what other people think for me, what other people think I need, what other people want for me, is already helping me align myself with the person I wanted to be when I was little. So I would say that. And then, do you believe in second chances? Yes, but depends on the context.
Yes, it does.
You know?
Yes, it does.
Like,
yes, it does.
Let's just start for cheating. I've never been cheated on, so maybe I sound a little too naive in this situation. But if somebody cheats on me, hon, it's a wrap. Not because I'm so offended, but I'm just like, if you don't want some on my plate, it's fine. Go and get in the line for the buffet and go eat. Like, it's just a waste of time. Like, you just go and enjoy yourself then, because I'm going to go eat regardless. You know, like, I'm not going to take it. I mean, maybe I probably will take it personally and offend me, like, crying through the whole bit and whatnot and write things about it. But I'm just that type of person. Like, I will try to immediately see the solution to where there's a problem. If you're cheating on me, there's clearly a problem. Yeah, you could have been drunk. Yeah, it could have been a mistake or whatever. But you know what? Fuck it. Put the drink down. Go fuck somebody else sober. It's okay.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah, you made your choice. You go ahead and live with it. No pressure.
Exactly. Like, let's not be counterproductive here, because then, if anything, that means I'm free. So.
Facts.
Yeah, I'd say I do. Just depends on the circumstance, though. Even, like, friend breakups. Like, I've had some friends that have, like, done me dirt, like, a bunch of times in high school. It would just be several different people and immediately, like, chop immediately, and they would always try to come back, and I was like,
Yeah.
no. And it's not even because I'm like, so sad about it and like taking. I'm just like, this is just so
Yeah.
unproductive for me growing as a person.
Yeah. It really depends on what you did.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody sometimes
Of course.
sometimes you have a misunderstanding with
Mm-hmm.
great people can have misunderstandings too.
Yeah.
And if we're having a misunderstanding, a second chance can be had, because we're not perfect. And if I'm ever performing underneath my greatness, I would like somebody to give me a second chance too.
Yeah.
But certain shit though, it's like, nah,
Yeah. Exactly.
nah.
Like misunderstandings just means that there's like room for understanding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, whereas there's certain things that are just like clear red flags or
Yeah.
stop signs, essentially. So, yeah, I would say it just depends on the context. And then, what is one thing people misunderstand about you? That's a like interesting question because we often don't like think of ourselves as being viewed at by other people. If that
Right.
makes sense. Which is funny because most of my anxiety and insecurities come from other people looking at me. But then when I think about like intrinsic questions like that, I'm like, oh yeah, people think about me. I guess I don't fucking know. Maybe that sounds self-absorbed, but
It's true though. Yeah. I
you
feel
know,
you. Mm-hmm.
I would say the one thing that people misunderstand about me is I think maybe just because of like, I don't know, it sounds so surface level to be like because of my Instagram, but like, I don't know, I've had people like think I'm some type of way just because of how I portray myself online, whether it be my name or like how I talk. But ultimately, like that's just me. Like that doesn't mean I'm here to offer you something or here to offer you my time, my body, or anything. That's just me being fucking me. And I'm just comfortable expressing myself that way. But I don't know. I like to think that I'm easygoing and I don't like to think of things as a big deal because what I've realized is that nothing really is a big deal.
I mean, yes.
Things are important, but nothing's a big deal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would say that. And then, it's a good question too. If you were going to die tomorrow, God forbid, what would you spend today doing? If I had like a magic wand and I could create any circumstance or situation, it would be that the Renaissance tour is happening tonight. And I would be there. And then I go have an amazing time at the concert, front row seats preferably. And then I would wake up in heaven and God would be like, so what was your favorite song she performed? And I'd be like, she did Heated. And it would be a fun conversation. I'd be talking to Whitney about it too. She would love it. So I'd say that. And then, okay, let's wrap up with some of these questions. These are all really good ones. Okay. So when you think of home, what comes to mind? When I think of home, I think of a song, and it's a song that will always and forever remind me of my first home that I grew up in Maryland. And it's Cool by Gwen Stefani, which is like my favorite song of all time. It's about her forgiving her past lover and moving on and how like they're still friends and everything's completely fine and essentially they're cool. There's just something so peaceful and melancholic about the song that I love. It also came out a few months before I moved out of my first childhood home. So like that memory always sits with me. And whenever I'm home, I'll like melodramatically drive through my old neighborhood and blast a song as I'm passing by my old house. And I'm just like, thank you for everything. And just keep on going. So I'll definitely say that. I just think about of a lot of music because that's essentially where I came to be into the fucking pop culture person I am now. So yeah, I would say that. Good question. What did life teach you yesterday? That's a good fucking question.
That's a phenomenal question.
That's one of my favorite questions I think I answered today. I'm trying to think what. You know what? Okay, yesterday was a very fun day. It was a simple day. I had an interview that you all will see soon on the show. I had that. And then currently in this time, I don't know when I'm releasing this, but currently I'm watching my friend's dog, Marty. And before that, I was watching my best friend, my roommate's dog as well for the past 2 weeks. And I've always loved them. I always loved dogs. I always had a connection to them. But after those 2 weeks with the first one and then beginning my time watching this next one. It's not even dogs, it's to anything external outside of you, like another human, an animal, like your environment. I'm like, oh my gosh, compassion is everything. I think that's what life taught me over the past few weeks, specifically yesterday. Like, I was sitting with the two dogs. I just finished walking them. I was like, take off their leashes, and here they are wagging their tails, look at me, waiting for me to feed them. And I'm like, oh, wow. Like, they're really looking up to me for this shit. Like, I have to take care of these people. And it would be so selfish of me to just go to the bathroom first or like scroll on my phone first before I feed these fucking animals after walking in the rain for hours to go shit on the concrete. Like, that would be so rude of me. And they need that to be taken care of. And then in return for me taking care of them, I get love, compassion, support, and loyalty by them. And I think, yeah, I would say I learned a lot about compassion yesterday, and that you're not everything, girl. Like, just because you're the one that you deal with the most in your everyday life for 365 days a year, for however long you're going to be on this planet, you're not the most important thing in your day-to-day life. Like, there's other things, people, animals, there are so many other things to care about. And yeah, so you just have to have compassion for them. So I would say that's my answer to that.
Can I answer that?
I was just about to ask you, yeah.
So the question was, what was the question again?
What did life teach you yesterday?
Life taught me yesterday. You'll feel like you again once you get it off your chest.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes you hold stuff in that you need to let out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's like my old pastor, T.D. Jakes. He said one time, "Speaking is ventilation for the soul." So
I love that.
when you share, sometimes there's some shit you got to share for a particular person. You know what I mean? Or just for you in general, you got to get it out. But you'll feel better though. You'll feel like you again.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you think it has to be always verbal?
Nah, I mean, it could be whatever it is you need it to be.
I got you.
You know, whatever it is you need it to be, whether it's journaling it, videoing it, expressing it some type of way physically, whatever that might be, you know, but just whatever it is, get it off. You don't need to carry it anymore, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
Say it one more time.
You'll feel like you again once you get it off your chest.
Okay. Amazing. That goes into our last question beautifully. So thank you for that.
Yeah, for sure.
The last question is, and I'm going to ask you this too.
All right.
Are you living or just existing? How do you know? Like, kind of going back to one of the questions we just answered of like, what was the best and worst year? I would say before I was definitely just existing and I thought I was living, but then it came to a very shocking reality that I was just existing. I knew from many different things. Oh my God. I could see it by not seeing anything in my eyes when I woke up and would get ready for work or whatever I was going to every morning or every afternoon. I would just look in the mirror and just be like, oh, girl, hon, who is that? Like, yeah, I have brown eyes, but that's the most I could say about them in this moment. I don't know what they think, what they're looking forward to, what they're capable of. That's just the most I could point out about them. It's just that they're brown, big, and they have long eyelashes sitting on top of them. Nothing important. So I'd say that. And I also knew, because I became angry with everything, and like, I may seem like very nice and smiley and happy up here, which I hope to be, and that's what I always want to be, and I never want to be impacting anyone negatively, but I, at least internally, I became a fucking bitch like this past year. Like, I was like, who is this person? Like, I became that person internally where like, if I missed a train that would go by, I'd be like, motherfucker, like, da-da-da. And I used to never be that girl. I always used to be the girl that would like be side-eyeing and rolling my eyes at like the Wall Street bro that would be losing his mind at losing a train. And I'm like, girl, we're in New York, not Nebraska. Chill. Like, there's gonna be another one.
There's another one coming in like 5 minutes.
Right. Like, it's the fucking New York City Metro. Like, chill. There will be another one here. And it's also just not that deep again. So internally, I kind of became that person. I became bitter.
Had to catch yourself.
And that's when I knew. And then if we want to get specific, I would say I also knew, which was like the determining factor of like, oh no, I need to not exist anymore. I need to live now. And I had this like, I would honestly call it like some type of like dramatic breakdown. I don't know what the fuck it is. I'm really bad at scheduling appointments, so I'm not gonna go get it seen by a professional till probably like what, 10 years later, I guess. But who knows? Maybe we'll dive into that in the memoir. But yeah, I just came to like a very shocking realization where I was like, I'm not happy with anything. And I know it's not making me happy. And it makes sense that that's not making me happy because it's single-handedly somehow found a way to spiral and spawn into many different ongoing demons or just negative emotions in my life. And for me, I learn best by not learning what I want to do or choosing what I want to do. I like to assess what do I not want to do in order for me to realize what do I want to do. And I was like, okay, what do I want to eliminate first? This, that, and that. Once that clears out, I'm like, oh, everything left here is what I want to do, it seems. Or for the most part, that's what I want to do. And then I discover from there. So I would definitely say now on this day, recording this Q&A moment, I'm living. What about you?
I'm definitely living.
You're living? That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I'm very happy that you're living. Did you have a point where you weren't?
I've been living for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I've been living for a long
That's
time.
good.
For real. Like I would say I'm 29 now. I started living when I was 19.
19. Okay.
And I've been getting really good at it, for real.
Mm-hmm.
Like since 19, every year I've gotten increasingly better at knowing how to live, you know? And a lot of that just comes from just finding what your purpose is, you know?
Yep.
Whatever it is that gets you right, or at least, even if you don't 100% know yet, the fact that you're trying to figure it out genuinely, if you're genuinely trying to figure it out, that's living.
Yeah.
Even if you don't got the answer, it's not about the answer. It's about the journey on the way to finding
Always.
it. You know,
Yeah.
so definitely living, man. I like to live. I like this life shit. I like having fun with this shit, you know?
That's all you got to do with life is just live it.
Just live it.
That's all you can do.
Handle business and have fun. And enjoy
Yeah.
handling business.
Mhm.
You know, like I'm not one of those people that looks at life like, oh man, I got to pay the rent again. I'm proud to pay the rent because I like having a place to stay. You know,
Yeah.
I got to pay the bills. It's true. You know, of course I let it spend the money on something else, but it allows me to have a place to stay, so I can continue to live. I can continue to curate and create. You know.
Yep. Completely.
You know, it gives space for that. So keep living, man. I'm gonna take these vacations. I'm gonna make these investments. I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna listen to music. I'm gonna keep taking risk.
Mm-hmm.
Take some losses, sure. You know, 2022 definitely the hardest year of my life, but
Right.
2023 we coming. This the revenge season, you know.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we living.
Absolutely. So, any piece of advice you could offer? Say, like, there's somebody watching that resembles 18-year-old Wolf. What's the shift they have to make? And it doesn't have to be specific, but like, what shift do they have to make to then become the enlightened 19-year-old version of Wolf, metaphorically speaking?
I genuinely think you need to find what it is that you want, that you're passionate about. Figure that out. Get on the journey to figuring that out. Even if it's just like, find where the road is first. Where's the road to figuring out what you're passionate about?
Right.
That road, all great things exist in that road, even the trying times, you know? So figure that out. You want to be a carpenter? You want to be a candle wax maker? You want to be an astronaut? Like, you want to be a gymnast? You want to be a dancer? You want to be a fucking jewelry sculptor, ice skater? You know what I mean? Whatever it is, like, figure your thing out and start going for that shit and start being creative about it. And because once you're on that road, that's how me and you meet.
Yeah.
You would think about that.
Completely.
You know? Like, you're from somewhere completely different. I'm from somewhere completely different. But, like, as far as my perspective and my life goes, like, me being on that road allowed me to be here. And therefore, it allowed me to meet you. And therefore, it allowed us to have this episode. And that's all pretty amazing to me.
Isn't it?
You know?
I think that's so crazy and amazing.
You know? And then Kareem Bailey Ray. Again, it's like energy. It's all connected.
Yeah.
It's like, who knew that me listening to Kareem Bailey Ray years ago? You know what I mean? Like, when I was barely a teenager would be relevant now.
Yeah.
But it is, though.
Completely.
And it's because you just got to continue to follow what you know about yourself. Don't lie to yourself and don't hide from what you know is to
Yep.
be true about yourself.
It will come right back at you, girl. It's not gonna go away. It is not gonna go away.
Yeah.
It's always gonna be there. So you might as well make peace with it and learn how to enlighten it. And like going off of your example with the road, like you don't even have to know to drive to get on the road.
For real.
Just find a
Just
fucking
find it.
ride.
Find
Like
it.
hitch on a ride with somebody else
Mm-hmm.
on this road, metaphorically call a lift.
Yeah.
That person knows how to drive. Cool. Ride a thumb
Hey.
for a bit and see where it takes you.
I was sleeping on a lot of couches on that road, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It was the road. It was the right road, though. You know, it looked crazy to everybody else, but it was the right road for me, you know?
Exactly.
For sure.
And that's what matters. Like everything is always gonna look crazy to everybody else until you land in where you're meant to be and where they've always seen where you're meant to be, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Then that's when people are like, oh, I knew it, you were gonna da da da. And
Of
it's like, oh,
course.
really? Because like
Of
you
course.
so weren't when I was on that road, but now that I made it to my destination, you're proud that I made it.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, it's no bitterness, just being observational. But with that being said, we hoped you fucking enjoyed this. This was fun to me. I like it. Shakes things up a bit. Maybe we'll start doing these with guests. Who knows? Y'all let me know. This is your show as much as it is mine. So let me know if you'd like to see more. For the meantime, you could follow me personally at Bad Bussy with 3 Ds in the middle and mm_and pod, which is a podcast Instagram. Nonetheless, all more on Instagram somewhere. All the tags and shit will be thrown in the description. Please continue listening, supporting, subscribing, all of that. I'm very thankful, truly. Like, I'm really, really, really fucking thankful with how people have been loving the show lately and like how many different conversations it's been curating, creating, and communicating. So I'm very appreciative of that. Let me know who else you'd like to see on, and we'll see y'all for the next episode.